It's Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Have a fun one for you today. We learn how to play Around the World by the Chili Peppers. So this one's got a few guitar parts, some challenging stuff in it, but some pretty easy parts too, so hopefully it won't be that difficult to get down. Before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring that little notification bell too, so you know when I release a new video. And please, very important, check out my Guitar Academy. It's at GuitarLessons365.com. It contains all my systematic guitar courses covering a lot of topics from improvisation to guitar tone to technique, ear training and theory. Got a lot of cool stuff there, a great community going over there, so hopefully you'll join us. And right now, I've got a free 7-day trial for you as well, so you can try it at no risk to you. So just click that link in the description, and you can be learning in a couple minutes from now. All right, so let's jump into this track real quick. This is in standard tuning. So nothing fancy there. And we're going to start with, Flea's got his bass intro, and then Frusciante comes in with this. So first, what's going on in the left hand is you're going to be barring the 12th fret there on the B and the high E together. Now, along with that, you're going to play the 14th fret there on the G string and bend it up a whole step. So all three of those strings at once. And then after you get that, you're basically trying to get that note to match the note that you're playing on the B string. It's called a unison bend. So you have that bending that far while still doing barring across all the way to the high E as well. So that's what's going on. He just continually does that bend. Now, along with that, you're going to be doing tremolo picking, which basically just kind of go down and up across those strings. Kind of just work on it. It might be smart to kind of work on it without. Find that area to where it feels like everything's nice and loose in the right hand. Just kind of with muted strings, and then. And then you'll be able to kind of add the left hand to it. It's easy to get tense in that section, so you want to make sure that you're not digging into the strings too much. When you're doing this, you don't want to be really kind of smacking the strings. You're kind of just brushing the tops of the strings so the strings aren't resisting that much. This can still create a big sound, but you're not really digging in. So just I kind of think of that. I'm just kind of brushing the top of the strings and instead of trying to angle my pick and digging in there. So that's that riff. That's going to happen a little bit later on in the track too. There'll be a little variation I'll talk about in a second when we get there. But then we get to the verse. Pretty simple stuff, just kind of a three, just based off of 3 notes. So the open D string, then 3, 5. So all in the D string. So then when you do that 0, 3, 5, then do 3, 5 again, and 3, 5 again. So this. So just that open D was just to start it, and then 3, 5 done 3 times. And then we go pretty much the same lick, except you're just doing 3, 5 twice. So you have that open D again, then 3, 5, 3, 5. So it is 3 times, then twice. So starting each of those with the open D. So just repeat it like that. All right, so pretty simple verse there. Then we get to the chorus, and the chorus actually has 2 guitars going on there, but I'll kind of show you what Frusciante does live. So he kind of does mostly this live. So that's kind of what he's doing live. And then we have another guitar that's doing this with it. So that's where it's kind of deceiving to your ear what you're hearing, but he can also do one part live. So I'll show you both. But if you only have one guitar, if you're in your band or you guys want to do a cover of this, do what Frusciante does live. It's the more prominent melody part. But if you have two, one can do that lower line too, which I'll show you, and it'll sound great when you put them together. So we have this. Turn on volume. So we have, it's a hammer from 3 to 5 on the G. And then you pick 5 a couple of times when you're there. And then go back 3, 5, 5 again. So that time I was picking each note. Then go over to the 4th fret there on the B string. And then back to 5 on the G. So this. All right, then we kind of start the same melody again. Pretty much the same thing there, but instead of going this, we do this. So it's a different ending the second time around. And that's just 6 on the B string to 4 on the B. So we have this all together for both parts. All right, from there we start over again. So it goes through just like we did the first time through. And then, you know, he kind of varies this slightly throughout when he does in the chorus. Sometimes he'll hang out on the 5th fret there on the G. So it might go. So you might hear him just kind of hang out there, or sometimes he does this. Goes down to the 5th fret there on the D string. So if you have 2 guitar players, probably better to stay on the G string there. But the other one's going to be doing that one. So we have this. And then we have this kind of little turnaround lick, which is the 5th fret there on the D, back to the 3 on the G, and repeat that twice. And then it starts the whole thing over. So all together from the beginning. So that second guitar part is doing this. So that starts at the 6th fret there on the D. And then 5. And it's just kind of a little rhythm that he's just kind of filling up space with. And then we have, it's really low in the mix, so it's kind of hard to pick up. And then we have 3, 5, 6. So we have this. Then over to 3 on the G. And back to 5 on the D. And then it repeats. So just keep in mind, that goes along with it. All right, so now at the very end, they kind of resolve onto an E flat major, or you can do E flat major or an E major 6 chord. It's just an E6. So you can do it like this. If you want to resolve it, I don't think he actually does this, but the harmony of all the music does on the recording. So you can easily do. resolve it to an E flat major chord, or if you want to have that note in, you're going to resolve it to an E flat major 6 chord. So that is going to be 6th fret there on the A, 5th on the D and the G, and then 4th on the B. So. All right, so that last chord is optional. I don't think he actually does that live. It's just kind of a good thing to kind of matches the recording, the whole harmony that comes in on the recording, and it sounds pretty good to end it that way. All right, then we go back through the verse again, same verse riff, and pretty much the same chorus, except there's a little variation on the high, the main little melody. So it's pretty much the same thing, but that first turnaround when we started the riff over, instead of going, it goes. So this is in the second chorus. So that's 5 on the D to 3 on the G, then back to that 5, and then pick 5 on the G, slide to 7, and back down to 5. And then here at the end of the first time through the riff, we have this. He adds that in there too. So kind of on the upbeat, he's got the. So I mean, if you know the song well, you probably hear that melody, and it's the same notes we were playing before. It's just kind of added. So kind of so you can see where that's placed. This goes. Right here. Now in the third chorus, that's kind of just a variation you can add if you want, but the third chorus pretty much does the same thing, but instead of making it as a slide, that little variation, he does it like, he does it as a bend. So pick the 5th fret there on the G, bend it up to that note, and then back down. So there's slight variations. How close you want to get detail to the recording is up to you, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention when it's there, because there are slight differences in each chorus, and yeah, he'll kind of mess around. It's funner just kind of how he does live. He'll kind of add lots of little inflections to that, because it's just simple little melody just based around really just 4 notes. So you know, you can kind of just mess with it all you want. And then we go back to this midsection where we kick back in, kind of like the intro. We have that. So we kind of do that just the same length of time that we did in the intro. And then we have kind of a variation where he continues going, but he'll stop it each time. So that's pretty easy. It's just when you get to the end of that 4th bend, just kill everything. It's a little bit easier because that little pause, you get to relax your right hand a little bit. So that's all that's going on there. And then it goes back into from there, back into the verse, back into the same chorus again. Remember, there's little variations in the chorus, but you can just kind of do your own thing there if you want. And then we have this outro section, which uses a couple of new chords here. And it sounds like this. right, so that's going to start with a D minor chord up here. All right, so that is just going to be that 12th fret there on the D string, 14th on the A, it's a A note, on the G string, 15 on the B, 13 on the high E. Then you pretty much take this same shape and you can move it up 2 frets, but what you're going to do is you're going to lift up that ring finger. So now you're playing the 14th, you're going to be doing a little bar across the D string and the G string here. So you're playing the 14th on the D and the G with a bar. And then you're playing the 17th fret there on the B and 15th fret on the high E. So from here to here. And then the next chord is going to be still barring across the D and the G, but this time at the 15th fret, and then playing the 18th fret with your pinky there on the B string, and then the 17th fret there on the high E. So those are the main chords here. So we just have this. Back repeating, and this time when we get to the top chord, you add a little variation. He does a lot of muting, so you don't need the full chord maybe, but he goes up here and he grabs the 20th fret here on the high E, and then the 18th fret there on the B. So you can just like that, but I like having the rest of the chord under it. I think it sounds cool like this, like. So I just took this and just replaced the 18 here with the ring finger, and then reach up to the 20th fret there on the high E. So that's just kind of like this second time through the chords, and then we go back to the normal chords without that little variation. And one more time. You are done. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's got some great chord work, some challenging right hand stuff, and some funky rhythms. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.